Hello, Northern Virginia. This is Nova Weekend Warriors, focused on those runners, cyclists, athletes, outdoor enthusiasts, and fans of fitness in the Northern Virginia area. I'm Meg Donnelly, a licensed massage therapist in Herndon, Virginia, focused on those weekend warriors. As with every episode of Nova Weekend Warriors, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as advice, medical or otherwise. The views of our guests in each episode are solely their own and not necessarily the views of the Nova Weekend Warriors podcast or of Meg Donnelly in her capacity as a licensed massage therapist. Today, we welcome Stephanie Stierhoff of Power and Balance Fitness and Nutrition. Part of Stephanie's mission is bringing the most current fitness and nutrition knowledge to the widest audience. Stephanie connects with people through her fitness and nutrition lifestyle approach. Her coaching informs men, women, and students of all ages to empower themselves so they may reach their personal results and personal goals. Stephanie, welcome.
Hi, Meg. It's so great to be on your podcast. I'm very excited.
I've been excited about this for a very long time, so I'm so pumped to have you here. Now, I want you to share a little bit about you and your personal fitness journey, because I think a lot of people are going to be able to connect with that.
Oh, I'd be happy to. My fitness journey started probably 30 years ago, at least. I was diagnosed with lupus right after my son was born. And he was about 8 months old. He was just starting to walk. And at that point in time, I was suffering from a arthritic joint. And in fact, to the point where my jaw was locked up. I could not even open my mouth to eat. So I had to take my son, and we were actually moving at the time. It was quite a time in my life. What I ultimately found out was my doctor telling me that I had lupus. I was sure that he had to redo the test and said, I think you've gotten that wrong. He said he was absolutely right, and he made double sure that it was, in fact, true. I now had lupus, and I thought it was over. At that time, I then had to go into the hospital because I had renal failure. I went into the hospital for a number of days. And after that, I came out I was huge. I was a blimp. And that was mostly from the drugs. The other side of all that was my body was in a huge state of inflammation and shut down. Well, the kidneys, I had the kidney issue. I had the inflamed joints. I had, at one point in my life, at that point in time, I had no saliva even. It was crazy. It was almost like if you could imagine, Meg, your computer is just, the computer chip just went wacky.
Yeah.
Now my computer chip just is going out of control. So I literally, once I got out of the hospital, I literally got into research on what I can do to help my body manage this situation. I was always one to be active anyway. So activity was something that was already a key piece in my life. And I was more or less a healthy eater as far as I knew at the time. I was previously a chef, and I understood good food versus bad food in terms of cooking really awesome, delicious dishes at restaurants and things like that. But what in my research now, let's fast forward from 30 years ago to you and I talking now, I have uncovered so much in this journey. And I can honestly say now that I feel better than I have ever felt. I've now, over the 30 years, had some mishaps, and one being where in 2011, I was literally in a wheelchair due to my illness.
Wow.
My therapists at the time were telling me that I would never be able to do just about anything I wanted to do, which one of those key things was boxing. I absolutely loved to box. And in fact, part of my therapy was boxing. In the physical therapist, they actually put on TV for me, they put a boxing video for me to play there's a PlayStation or something, one of those things. I didn't know anything about it, but I'm like, they put it on, and that was part of my active therapy. So what I did was I proved them wrong. I went from a wheelchair to walking out the door. And then when I came back, I went to visit them because they were so awesome, my physical therapist.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back just to tell them that they were awesome. And then I had just gotten back from a ski trip in Colorado where I did I was skiing downhill without any poles. So I went from a wheelchair to skiing in Colorado. And what that tells me is over the years, so it's a research and practice of eating correctly, of fortifying my body with all the nutrients it needs. 2 is the physical activity and keeping my body in motion and enabling all the biological systems to work as they are designed to work. So here I am now at the age of 58, and I am really feeling absolutely amazing. Now, with all that I know, it is my mission, though, Meg, to share all that I have, all that I've collected, all that I've experienced with anybody who would like to know more about how they can too.
Yeah. And I think that's like super important for a couple of reasons. Like one, the people we look to when we're diagnosed or when things are happening with us, right? Whether they're doctors or PTs or anybody, I think it's getting better, right? I think that the listening and the understanding that the body is capable of a lot more. I think we've come a long way. We still have a long way to go, but I think we've definitely come a long way. I know even in my profession, the listening piece is now so much more important, even in massage therapy. What I physically do is important, but I need to listen to what your goals and what you want to do is. Making an assumption that, oh, you have lupus, you just want to be better. No, I want to live my life to the fullest is what people weren't maybe hearing first. And so the I hate to say the good thing that came out about that, but certainly the thing that I got to benefit from you going through that experience is that you've shared with me from our time that we've known each other, a lot of different things that you've done that have brought you to where you are today. And I just I need to paint a picture a little bit because we're on a podcast and people that don't know you, first and foremost, you got to go to her website and I'll tell you later where it is and all that good stuff. But Stephanie is in top physical form. Your arms are, man, I'm so jealous of your arms, but she's really in top physical shape, everything. You've just done an amazing job, of building yourself up. So today though, now that I've went on my little tangent, today I think we were going to focus a little bit on one topic and something that you are really passionate about that's really helped you through your journey. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
A couple of things. One of my biggest goals is to help people break through some of the quagmire or the confusion of what they hear by way of marketing, or maybe they're reading articles in magazines that contradict each other. Also, I have clients, and clients come to me with their own inquiries about what's this versus that. I hear this, I hear that. So I thought what we would decide to talk about today, because this is a pretty big topic, is the macros, the word macros. It comes up a lot. It's in a lot of different exercise enthusiasts. Yeah,
in the fitness realm in general, it's huge right now. I mean, it's huge in certain things like CrossFit, but everywhere, that's all you hear is macros, macros, macros.
Oh, I got my macros clued. I got my macros all nailed down. What are macros, though? And inside of, so macros are fats. You've got the combination of fats, carbohydrates, and protein. Let's pick fats. That's always kind of a controversial topic. You don't want fat on your body. That's the whole point. But then, do I eat fat? Don't I eat fat? That's the question. That's where we get confused. What do I do? What we do know is our body, our brain is made up mostly of fat. We also know that the myelin, the sheaths that cover the important nerves that transfer all that electricity up into our brain, that's needed. Our body actually requires fat. And if you look at some of the research on how different fats are produced, your body then has to read this. When you take in any food, that's information into your body. Your body has to read this as good or bad. There are good fats. Fish oil is outstanding. And it does matter where you get it. You just want to check package, do your own research. I really like to empower clients to look and be very knowledgeable about what they purchase for them to ingest. Just imagine you're taking something, you're putting it into your body. I mean, how much more intimate can you get? Food is the only thing that we get that intimate with. And it's so important. You know what's going into your body. So when you do want to have the fish oil, but you want to make sure it is good. How else can you get good fats? You can get them in avocado is a wonderful fat, and you can get it by way of eating the fruit, which is ideal. It's got amazing amount of potassium. Mm-hmm. Or you could actually just have avocado oil. The coconut oil is excellent. In fact, I put it on my skin. It's one of those, you can do anything with coconut. You can put it on your skin. You can put it in your smoothie.
Right.
Between avocado oil and coconut oil, they both are very good in terms of cooking with, because they don't have as much of a volatile state in heat as do other oils.
Gotcha. What other oils other than coconut and avocado do you like to use and do you recommend?
Those two.
Okay.
Very third one would be a really good source. And again, always look at the package, but make sure it comes from a nice, maybe one farm, a olive oil. Those three oils are, if you had those three oils and nothing else, you would be doing yourself a service.
Yeah.
And they taste great.
Next, can we talk about carbohydrates? Because I think that's another one that people are afraid of. Or do we want to talk about protein first?
No, I'd be happy to talk about it. Let's do it. Let's jump into the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are not an essential macro for the most part. I mean, I'm going to put some caveats in that. But we don't really require pasta in our life. One of the things that I have done it's my approach to eating for my own results and my own vibrant vitality and energy. And that is, I have certain rules. The rules are it must be as nutrient dense as I can possibly achieve in any food. And any sitting down and eating a meal, I think about how nutrient dense is it. Now, we know that pasta is a carbohydrate. All right. We also know that a plate of vegetables with some nuts and seeds, and you can mix that up and chop that up any way you like. Next to that, pasta is also carbohydrate. They're not created equal, are they? If I were to eat the pasta, my body would have a completely different reaction from if I ate the plate of vegetable. Now you can cook it or it could be raw.
Right.
It. You can put lemon on it. You can do anything you want. You can dance with it. You can do anything you want. But the pasta versus the salad or the vegetable is going to react differently. How is the pasta going to react when you eat it? Well, the pasta is primarily a starch. So it's going to go into your body and be read and converted pretty quickly as a sugar. That is going to then, you can only have in your bloodstream at any one time about a teaspoon of sugar at one time. So anything over that, your body then has to deal with it in some other way. The sugars are typically dealt with by way of storing it as fat as quickly as possible. That is our go-to for storing over consumption of sugars. Sugars being carbohydrates by way of, it could be